Okay, show of hands. Who here is waiting? Waiting for the right time, the right moment, the right feel to do something that they've wanted to do for a very long time. You could have been waiting to do this for months, for years. Allow me to burst your bubble, guys. There is no such thing as right time. There is only now. And I can tell you that by virtue of standing on the cricket field in front of 50,000 fans with a bowler bowling 150 clicks an hour, and he's trying to take my head off while I'm trying to smash him for 6. By virtue of doing that, you have to act now. There is only now. And it begs the question, what are we willing to do to evolve into the person that meets the opportunities that are waiting for us? Today, are we willing to adapt and become that person so that we are ready for the opportunities that are waiting to meet us? Because the opportunities you are looking for, that you are seeking, is actually seeking you. But are you willing to go through sustained discomfort to be able to become that person where you become the highest version of yourself? Because I'll tell you something, winners don't wait for circumstances to change. Winners actually change their own circumstances. They change themselves, and when they change themselves and they evolve and adapt into the people that they need to become for the opportunities that lie in front of them. I see that with people winning today. That's what they do. Question is, are you one of those people? Right? I'm going to tell you a story about how I did this with myself. At the age of 25, I'm sure you'll have heard this story. Clinically depressed, suicidal, broken completely. I'm in ground zero, right? And I've just started paying attention to my mental health. I've started getting back and feeling slightly better. And at this point, I rediscover my passion for the game. And in my head, I'm like, I want to play for India. I want to play for India and I want to win championships again. I want to win every championship there is to win. And in my head, I was like, okay, what do I need to do to become that person? What do I need to do to become that person that wins championships? It's like, okay, I need to become more consistent as a cricketer. I need to become a dependable player for my teammates. When they see me go into bat, they feel like, Robin's there, we're fine. So I was like, okay, I want to become that player. What do I need to do to become that player? I was like, I always knew internally that there was a gap in my batting technique that I wanted to change. So I made a bold decision. At a time when I was already going through a lot of things personally, I decided to overhaul my batting technique completely. So what does that mean? I had to unlearn everything about batting. When I say everything, I mean everything, right? I had to break my batting down to its foundations, break the foundations even. 20 years of instinct was broken down, just gone, right? Everything that came to me naturally, I unlearned all of it. And what was there when I broke all of it down? Sheer and complete uncertainty for the foreseeable future. The next about 12 to 16 months was just turmoil for me. When I say turmoil, I have ended up practice sessions with me crying and my coach saying, we're done for today. Because I've not known, after playing cricket for so long and winning a World Cup by this time, I don't know if what I'm actually doing at the crease is that works for me. I'm playing the defense, I'm like, am I doing it right? I'm playing a shot and I'm looking at my coach, I'm like, is this right? I had zero confidence. For the next 12 to 18 months, it was nerve-wracking, scary, I was extremely vulnerable, and I had no confidence in my core competence, which was cricket. The only thing that took me forward, and that the only thing I had going for me at that point in time, was courage. I was extremely brave, and I had faith. Faith in myself, and faith in God. That I don't care really if this doesn't work, but I know that it will work. So I kind of detached myself from the result of it, and I attached myself to the process. I said, every day, my only prayer was, I don't care for the light at the end of the tunnel. Give me the light for that one step today. Give me the strength for that one step that I can take today to move forward. I'll do that in faith. And I know it doesn't matter how long it takes. I'm in this journey now. I'm all in. I'm not backing out. And that is exactly what I did. I went all in, and then I started repetitions. I started building myself. What did that take? Repetitions of the shots that I've already known from 20 years ago, but relearning it in an absolutely new way. So that entailed me doing repetitions, like 10,000 repetitions, 15,000 repetitions, 20,000 repetitions. But all these repetitions with zero confidence, right? When I did that, after a point, after 12 to 16 months, the repetitions took. These repetitions I did simply because I wanted to burn those repetitions into my muscle memory. So that if you wake me up in the middle of the night and say, Robin, bat, I'd go there and I know what I'm doing, right? And that repetitions took. I started feeling confidence. Once I started feeling confidence, the results started coming. What were the results of after 2 years of doing this? I won every domestic tournament there is to win in India. I won the IPL twice. And I won the Orange Cap and the IPL in the same season, the first player to do so. That is amplification. That, for me, is adaptation. That, for me, is to have faith in yourself. When we say adapt and amplify, right, what is it? Adapting is having faith in yourself, that you will be able to make this change over a period of time. And when you work with that faith, the light at the end of the tunnel becomes as bright as day. You just keep walking in faith. I'll tell you another beautiful story. So in the work that I'm doing, I'm actually working with this young Indian cricketer. So he came to me and he said, Robin, can we work together? I said, sure, what do you want to do? So he said, he's a very successful player, domestically doing very well. Someone who played in the IPL, on and off. He was there in IPL teams, championship winning IPL teams, in fact. And he's like, he did get selected in the IPL for 1 or 2 seasons, and he was like, I want to make a comeback in the IPL. So I was like, interesting, okay. So I asked him, is that the goal? So he was like, yeah, that's my goal. I said, okay. I said, I think you can do more. So like, really? He was like, yeah, I think you can. So I'm like, what do you think the highest version of yourself can achieve as a batter? He's like, surely play the IPL. I said, yeah, for sure. But maybe I can also play for India. I said, great, let's start. And we began working. 18 months of uncomfortable work. When I say uncomfortable work, we built systems for him. We built systems together for him. How is he going to bat? How is he going to approach his day? How is he going to think? How is he going to get his mind to work at optimum? We built processes for him. And the result of that, he played 25 innings in those 18 months. He had 16 50s and 6 hundreds. And the result of that was he got selected in the Indian cricket team, the test team, on the England tour when he replaced one of the injured players there. And he continues to be successful. Recently got another 100 in the India A game when they were playing the warm-up games against the World Cup teams. So he's doing really, really well. Again, he came wanting one thing, but he got something infinitely bigger because he was willing to adapt into becoming the best version of himself as a cricketer. And by virtue of doing that, his amplification was beyond his own imagination. He calls me up today and he says, my word, the best thing I did in my life was to choose to work with you because I'm able to see what the highest version of myself is as a cricketer. Very recently, I had another very interesting story. So I'm a little bit of a curious cat. I love getting to know people. So I was on a flight, and on that flight, I was sitting next to this lady. And she was a young woman, maybe 30, 35 years old. So I was generally chatting to her about what she does, and she was doing interesting things. So I asked her, as our conversation went on, I asked her, what's your superpower? What do you think your superpower is? She, without missing a beat, she said, my ADHD. I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? So she's like, yeah, my ADHD is my superpower. So like, okay, tell me more. So she's like, when I got diagnosed with ADHD, I actually spent time crying with relief that everything that I ever believed about myself was now reconfirmed to me. And when that got reconfirmed to me, it wasn't disempowering. In fact, it was actually empowering. Simply because I knew as a kid, if you make me do one thing, I couldn't do it well. But if I had to do 4 or 5 things simultaneously, I did all of it really well. So this is something I already knew, but people kept putting me into this little box where they wanted me to do one thing well, one thing well, one thing well, and I wasn't able to do it well. But when I got diagnosed with this, I was so happy, I was elated, so much so that I kind of leaned into it. Today, she runs her own charity in New Zealand, which works for cyberbullying for women and children. She is a politician in the Maldives. She works with AI, with the same cyberbullying aspects. She's got multiple startups, and she runs her father's real estate business. ADHD, what we think as a weakness, today is one of her biggest strengths. What did she do there? She didn't try to fix herself. She just amplified who she already was. That's the most beautiful thing. Today, you don't need to look at things that people perceive as weaknesses as a weakness for you. If you think that there is something that is advantageous for you, lean into it a little bit. Experiment with it a little bit. See what that brings out for you. Check it out a little bit. One of the things I constantly see today as a coach, as a life coach, is a sense of an excuse which is, today is getting old. I feel the excuses I hear is, there's a sense of victim mentality that everybody is on. They feel like they're limited because of somebody else, something that happened in the past, something that is not related to them directly. And they feel they're limited because of that, because of other people, some experience from the past, and they don't take ownership of their life. The remote control, safely handed over to somebody else. Here, hold the remote control of my emotions or my life or my actions. And I'll sit here and stand here like a vegetable, wait for life to happen to me. And I do not understand that, because life is in your hands. It's your life. You need to take ownership for it. You need to take the ownership to say, give me my remote control back. Let me hold it. Let not my circumstances decide how I navigate through life. You have to take the ownership to evolve. Unless you take the ownership to evolve, evolution will not happen. Unless you take the ownership to say, I need to adapt into becoming the highest version of myself. I need to adapt to say, okay, I'm here, but I want to be here. What do I need to take from here to here? What is the shortest distance, or what is the one decision I can take today that will get me moving or create inertia towards moving towards here, right? If we can do that with ourselves, and if I can leave you with anything today, I would like to leave you with 3 questions that I would like all of you all to go back tonight and ask yourselves, please. 1, are you a victim of your circumstances, your past? And have you handed the remote control of your life to somebody else, or do you have it with you? First question. The second question is, what are your limiting beliefs? And why do those limiting beliefs exist? Right? Third question. What is the highest version of me feel like? What does the highest version of me look like? I'll tell you what my personal compass is. For me, the highest version of me looks like someone who wants to serve people. The highest version of me wants to help people figure out who the highest version of themselves are. So today, I know what it feels for me to exist from my highest version. I feel the energy. I feel the passion. I feel the joy. I feel the peace that comes with the highest version of myself. Today, when I'm working with people, or when I'm interacting with people, or I'm serving people, there is this butterflies that I feel in my solar plexus. When I feel that in the middle of conversations, when I feel that in the middle of a talk like this, I feel aligned to the highest version of myself. The question is, Do you all know what the highest version of yourselves look like? Find it tonight. That is adaptation. And that will amplify who you are. That is your life. The question is, are you willing to take it? Thank you very much.